This is the live video of March. March? No, April. Oh, I was behind. um, just gonna wait until I hear that my audio is good. Oh, it looks like it is. Um, okay. Wanna wait until some people comes and to see this live video. And if you don't know about this video, today we are going to be talking about the problems the new trucks are having. Um, we understand the technology and the trucking industry is not the best, especially when you have to pay a lot of money to buy it and a lot of money to repair it. And that's the reason why YouTube channels like me are in the industry to help you to understand, to get your truck going and things like that, because the prices are so high nowadays, and it's pretty hard to keep up with these technologies and everything. So, as I said before, for anybody that you just joined to this live video, today we're gonna be talking about trucks, new trucks. Um, we can say new trucks, anything that is 2020 and newer. 2025 trucks are still not being delivered for so many customers, but they're gonna be here soon. So, and they are not going to be any better than 2024s, which are very expensive to fix already how they are. But we are going to focus on today on showing you what made this truck so unreliable and so expensive. It is not just then trucks are more expensive. It has to be with technology and many add-ons to the trucks that were not installed before. And if you uh, remember, trucks from 2000 didn't have many of the things than trucks from 2020 have. So 20 years make a big difference on the amount of technology trucks are equipped with. So before we used to have an engine that was electronic control and everything was mechanical. So electronic control was just to get the best fuel economy possible, but you have mechanical injectors, you have mechanical distribution, you have mechanical way to get timing, you have everything mechanical, and the computer only the whole job of the computer was to understand the logic of these mechanical movements and just make it smoother to get a better fuel economy and to get the best performance. But nowadays, with new trucks, it is not like that. It's like mostly electronic modules. So a module controls the engine completely, and not just the engine, the cabin, the brakes, the cruise control. Nowadays has specific modules just for the cruise control. You get a module, and things like that. So, well, we're gonna start right now. This video is probably gonna be a pretty long video, and I have a list of things that make a truck more expensive. And if you have anything else to add to this video, you're more than welcome on the comment section. I know for sure that there is so many things to talk about when it comes to new trucks, but I have a list of things that we are going to be talking about on these new trucks. So for that, let's go to the whiteboard here. Um, that one there. Yeah, a little better view. I think it's gonna look a little bad. It's just because of the way it looks around. So I would say then there are many things then we're gonna focus on right here. But as I say, the title of this video: New trucks, new problems. and that's how it is. Okay, you get new trucks, you get more problems, and the reason why you get more problems when you have new trucks is because everything is completely new. And when everything is completely new means then we don't know anything about this technology. So when a manufacturer releases a specific vehicle with specific technology, nobody knows anything about it. So we have to wait until that is I'm busy right now. I'm busy. Oh, what happened? Oh, okay. Um, okay. Um, all right. So I'm sorry about that. I was saying, yeah, well, manufacturer releases technology. I mean, we don't have a specific ways to understand the technology until many years pass by. So then we will start understanding that technology specifically. But anyway, so I have a list of the things that make a truck more unreliable or more expensive to repair, I would say in general. So new trucks, new problems, and we have new systems with new trucks. We have more safety modules with new trucks, more lightweight materials, which means then you have more plastic, you have more different components that make trucks lighter, but also more fragile than breaks with anything. Um, uh, Tighter tolerances. Well, I mean, we're gonna explain that in a bit. I wanna refer to that later. Higher repair costs. That's something that you already know. I mean, it's very expensive to repair these new trucks. High complexity to understand these new trucks. Yes, that is what's happening. A lot of people doesn't understand how these trucks work, and well, it takes so much time to understand it. And when you understand it, there is a new technology is coming, and now you need to understand the news. Um, then you have a poor reliability. Well, I mean, obviously we have a lot of electronics and light material components, so they are not going to last that long as they used to. Electronics all over, so that's a problem with new trucks. Everything is electronic. Limited way to repair it. Uh, I'll explain that later. And high MSRP. Trucks are more expensive to repair, trucks are more expensive to buy, and they're fragile, they can break with anything, and they're very hard to understand. So when you buy a new truck, you get new systems, as I said before. And when I say new systems, you get, let's for example, if you used to own a truck from 2015 and now you just bought a 2020, this brand new truck is going to come with electric cruise control, then it's going to brake in case the truck fails and there is incoming traffic and you don't have the ability to stop on time. The truck will brake with you. I mean, for you. You have blind spot monitors. You have airbags in some trucks. You have rest controls. Whenever you're tired, the truck is going to tell you then you need to rest, and so many other systems. So trucks are equipped with so many modules nowadays. Then they are just extra costs for the customer, and some of them are required by EPA and safety administrations, but some of them are not. And that is the problem. Some of them are not, but makes the truck a little more pleasant to drive. Sometimes you just want to drive your truck on, like on cruise control, and you just keep your hands on the steering wheel, and it will drive for you. All you have to do is steer left and right, and it will brake, it will accelerate, and everything. And that is the reason why systems are important. But then when the system goes bad, the whole truck goes bad, and then you don't have a way on how to repair the truck. And that is going to be a big problem. It's going to cost a lot of money to repair it, and it's going to take a lot of time to repair it. And that is one, just with that, with the new systems, with the new trucks, that's enough to say the trucks are bad. But it's not just that. There is so many other things that you have to think about when you talk about when trucks are bad. So the next, it will be more safety modules. Well, I mean, that includes ABS, traction control, transmission control, airbags, as I said before. We'll say emergency response modules. Those modules are going to prevent many accidents in some cases, and that's the great thing about those modules. If you have an ABS control, it's going to prevent then the truck slips on when you have a hard braking, but also it's going to be a problem. Sometimes when you have ABS systems, they prevent you for accelerating in your truck. Like for example, when you're stuck in a position, your truck is stuck in sand, and then you're trying to accelerate the truck because the truck detects then the wheels are spinning. It won't let you accelerate the truck. So you're stuck. You cannot go anywhere. So what you have to do, you have to call a tow truck to pull you out, even though you could do it yourself, but you can't because the truck doesn't allow you. And that is part of the safety modus, because the truck thinks then the wheels are spinning and you can be part of a crash. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna prevent that. We're gonna stop you from spinning the wheels, and that will prevent an accident. But the truck doesn't understand the logic. Then sometimes it is not that you are spinning the wheels because you are sleeping. I mean, you are spinning the wheels because you want to get out of a specific situation. So that's the reason why some safety models are kind of like no good at some point. So safety module, I would say also we can say airbags and cruise control. Adaptive cruise control is part of a safety module as well, because so many accidents then are from collision accidents. Cruise control, adaptive cruise control can prevent that. The front radar and the bumper can detect a specific vehicle from a specific distance before an accident happens, and that means then it will brake completely. But that also means then whenever you're driving your truck and all of the sudden someone just happens to, like hop on your lane, the truck will brake. Even though then you have enough distance, the truck will brake hard on you. A lot of people complains about that. A lot of people tells me, hey, you know what, this is a big problem with this. And I mean, in some cases you can do something like programming. In some cases you cannot do anything about it. So safety modules sometimes are not the best, but also they're very expensive to repair. I think that would be the bigger problem, expensive to repair. And then more lightweight materials. What I mean lightweight materials, bumpers are made of a very cheap plastic. Even engine internal components are made of a very cheap plastic. I don't know if in the case of Cascadias, we know that they have all pickup tubes and are made of plastics. Cummins hasn't gone that way. Still, they use steels for oil pumps and everything. But then wiring harness are made of a very cheap materials. You get Peterbilts, then they have cabin harness problems with 200, 100,000 miles. Freilanders engine harness problems, tail lights and robot, and things like that, because they're using very cheap materials. And the reason it is not that they're using cheap materials to save money. Well, I mean, that's one of the reasons why, but the other reason is then they're reducing the amount of weight, and that is the reason why they use cheap materials. So the thing is like more systems and more modules increase the weight of the vehicle, because before we didn't have ABS controls, before we didn't have emission system, we didn't have anything, right? So because they're adding more things to the truck, they have to cut the weight somewhere. And that is the reason why they're using so many fragile pieces anywhere. Now you're gonna see trucks, brand new trucks, 2024, 25 trucks with fairing pieces, cabin pieces on the side missing because the wind just blew them away, because they're not strong enough to support the amount of pressure. You're gonna see rubber pieces from the bottom of the truck just falling from the truck. You're gonna see clamps that are holding the hoses just breaking because they're using the lightest possible. Because whenever they build the trucks, they're not required to pass a specific standard of quality. They just required to pass whatever the government is asking for. So if the government is asking, then your truck gotta have 8 miles per gallon as an MPG, but you gotta weigh 13,000 pounds, let's say 13,000 pounds. That gotta be with MPG of 8 miles per gallon. That is the requirement of the government. So they don't care how you wanna do it. You have to comply with them. So manufacturers don't care. They're just gonna add whatever they have in hands so they can reduce the weight of these vehicles. And whenever they do that, they create so many problems. I don't know if you guys drive over any highway and you see brand new trucks with missing pieces. It's because of that, because of the lightweight materials that are not meant for trucks. Trucks are a very heavy vehicles. They have a lot of vibration and a lot of weight. And whenever you go over every single bump, the whole trunk shakes because you are putting 40 tons every time it hits. So you're putting a lot of pressure every time the tire touches a specific bump or any type of deformity of the road. So that pressure goes directly to the wheels, and then it gets transmitted to the metal components all the way to the truck. And of course, anything that is not strong enough is going to break just by the vibration of the truck. You don't have to have a collision to break any component. Just the vibration of the truck is enough, because the truck don't have very good insulation from the engine to the chassis, because they need a very strong way to grip the chassis. So you cannot just put a regular motor mount and it doesn't connect directly to the chassis. It has to be support somewhere, because the torque of every single diesel engine is pretty high, and if you don't tie that torque pretty well, it's going to rip the whole frame off. So that is the reason why the modern trucks are very bad on that, because the way how the engine insulates the vibration through the chassis is still the same, hasn't changed that much. And they are changing all the plastic components around. So the engine, just the engine, by running, it destroys everything. It creates vibration. You're gonna see a lot of rubbing pieces. They are just like destroying itself with no. You don't need to do anything to destroy any plastic pieces, because they're fragile compared to the metal components that are part of the frame. Well, I mean, like I can continue on talking about that, because that's something that you're gonna see every time you go on the highway. You're gonna see trucks missing pieces all over the place, and that's just outside pieces, like exterior pieces, internal pieces too. I mean, dashboards, cabinets inside, interior engine components. They break for no reason, but because they're made of plastic. And they're gonna continue on adding more plastic and more light materials to the trucks, because it's going to save a lot of weight, and that will help them to increase MPGs as well. And now the tighter tolerances. Okay, when I mean tolerances, means then trucks are getting low ways on how to work. Like maybe not low ways. I would say like a very small gaps between being good and bad. I would say that I think that would be the best way to say it. So, like for example, like I will say connecting rods, bearings, main bearings. I will refer to that specifically. Manufacturers are reducing the amount of gap that the engine can support, can work with if the bearing goes bad. In the past, used to be even if the bearing has a specific amount of damage, and will have a specific amount of gap between the crankshaft and the rod or the main bearing, the engine will still work, because of the lubrication is enough, the amount of pressure is enough. But now the tolerance on that is very small, and that is giving you the problem. Then if you don't have the specific tolerance, the engine will break immediately. You will have no choice. And that is also, that has to be also because of the materials too, the lightweight materials. The lightweight materials are pretty crappy, I would say, and the tolerances are more like strict, more like tight. So you have less ways on how run your truck for longer time, or you repair it or you don't repair it. You don't have the choice now. Then you can at least work like 3 months, 4 months, and then you are going to repair your truck. No, now it's like you repair it now. If you don't repair it, it's going to break. So repair it or don't repair it. Just leave it parked, or take it to the shop. That is the new ways, and that is not just on engine components. That's also emission components. They have very strict tolerances, and this tolerance means that before we used to have trucks, then they can pass emissions probably with maybe with the 60% of the conversion. The SCR conversion will be like 60%, 65%, and still pass emissions. But now it's 80, 85%, close to the 90%. So it's pretty hard, very limited amount of conversion then you have to have on your truck. Otherwise, the truck will declare a fault. And that goes for every single thing, every single model. And the reason why they do it like that is to prevent problems with the truck and to prevent pollution and so many other things, right? But in the other hand, they're hurting the customer, which is any of you that owns trucks, because it's going to be way harder to maintain these trucks, and also it's going to be uh, how we can say, like, less ways on how you can collect the money to fix them, because you cannot even try to make more money. You can just like the only option you have is to fix it. But anyway, well, I mean, the next is a high repair cost. Well, I mean, that's very I would say common. I would say nowadays everything is very expensive. Everything went high. Everything is like crazy expensive. I remember then before COVID, I used to buy DPF filters, and for Detroit specifically, they were like around like $700 one DPF filter and $700 for the second DPF filter, because they have two. Now at this time, 2024, the same DPF filters cost $1,500, double in price, which is way more expensive than they used to be before. And I mean, the duration, the quality of the component is still the same. It hasn't changed. It's still the same component, but the price has increased double. And it's not just that. It's like everything in general. Before COVID, oil in general, we can say I used to buy Delo. I used to buy Ursa, Chevron Ursa, and different type of oils. And sometimes I was able to get $45 for a pill for a bucket of 5 gallons. It was pretty cheap. But now the cheapest oil I can buy is around $70, 68 to $70. That's the cheapest oil. Of course, I can go to the cheapest of the cheapest, but that's not recommended. I'm talking about the good quality oil that is, a good price. So the oil that used to be for a bucket of oil used to be like $45 before COVID. Now is $68. So we have a huge increase on price. And if you go to the higher spec oils, it's going to be more expensive. And of course, for newer trucks, it's going to be way more expensive because they require specific oils nowadays because of emissions. Emissions requires specific oils for pollutions, and that is going to be even worse for the new used trucks. For if you want to buy a used truck, it's going to be really hard, very expensive to maintain and everything. But at the end of the day, if you are in the industry, you have to repair it. And that is the reason why they don't care. Because if you have a truck and you want to continue on working, you have to repair it. And if you don't repair it, well, you have to find other ways how to survive. Now, the high complexity to understand, that has been a problem for many years. Since DPF were introduced, a lot of people seem not to understand the trucks, the industry, how to repair them. And I would say then it will be easier to understand the technology if the technology stays for many years the same. But technology has changed in 10 years, like from 2010 to 2020, technology has changed so much. So in 2010, for trucks, we only had DPF and on emission systems, mostly because that's the highest complexity component. Only we have DPF, that's it. But then on 2012, the SCR with the DEF was introduced. Then on 2017, a soot sensor was introduced to determine how your DPF were working. Now in 2021, now a low emission tolerance that were introduced to the computer, and this means that every time then your truck is working, it will determine any sensor, any component that is not working. And if that is the case, we will send you a specific code, and this code will tell you that your system is not working fine. But it wouldn't tell you what it is. It will just tell you that this specific problem is not working fine. But it is part of the life we're living now with these new trucks. The complexity to understand these trucks is going to be even higher as newer trucks are arriving. 2025 trucks are not going to be easier than 2024s, and 2026 are not going to be easier than 2025s, and that is going to continue until, well, I mean, like it will be hard to repair any single truck. And that's the reason why, as a mechanic, if you are a mechanic, you have to understand and you have to keep on progressing on understanding new technologies. And sometimes the information cannot be, you cannot find the information easily. So you sometimes you can call, sorry, you can call centers, Detroit call centers, and everything, and they don't even know the problems because there are so many different type of problems. Then sometimes the problems then they are looking for, they don't have it because it hasn't been registered yet. And then when you try to find the problem for a specific truck, a new generation of trucks are coming. So these people at Detroit call centers, Cummins call centers, Packard call centers, they're going to focus on the newest all the time. So they're going to leave the oldest because that's what it is. I mean, they have to focus every time on the newest technology. So that's the reason why the oldest technology is going to be left on the side. But that's the reason why trucks are harder to understand, because anybody that buys a truck that is 3 years old is going to be an owner operator. And not all of owner operators are going to be capable to find information for the trucks. And mechanics are going to suffer that same situation. They're going to find information. They want to try to find any type of related information to solve a problem. And there wouldn't be any, because they are not going to spot the information. And plus, if you are a mechanic, you have to pay a specific subscription to get information. And that is not very nice, because even me, I don't really like to pay subscription for everything. You know, like for every single thing, you have to pay a subscription to know how the engine works. Oh, a subscription how the ACR works. A subscription for this. And at the end of the day, you're paying like $1,000, $2,000 just in subscription every month. And when you're trying to find information, it isn't there because of the high complexity to understand. So the next is like for reliability. Well, I mean, like that's part of everything right here. I mean, like light components, more electronics, safety equipment, and everything. Trucks are very unreliable. They don't last that long as they used to be. But sometimes there are cases that trucks are capable to last 1 million miles, depending on how the driver or the owner operators keep them. But it's harder. It's not like before. You treat your truck the way you want to treat your truck is still gonna last 1 million miles. I want to last 1 million miles. Not anymore with this newer technology. So you have to, if you buy a new truck, you have to be prepared. Then you have to spend money regardless. Even if you baby your truck or if you abuse your truck, you are going to spend money to maintain it, because the components they're using are pretty light, pretty cheap, pretty easy to break. So that is the reason why trucks are very unreliable nowadays. And now electronics all over. That's another thing, right? We have electronics for every single thing. We have electronics for us for the seat now has electronic. The door module has electronics. So the door has a latch, then closes and opens, and the same latch has a computer inside, a little module, then detects when the door is open, and if the door is open, it's going to tell the cabin controller to stop the truck and or to do something to alert the driver. And if the door is not closed properly, it's going to tell you to. And now you have the dashboard. Now the dashboard itself is electronic now for many trucks. I don't know if you guys have seen the new Peterbilts and the new Kangurs. Then they have this nice flat screen dashboard. They look super nice. It looks very, very advanced. But can you imagine how expensive that thing is going to be? How complex that is? And also the kind of problems that is going to give you. Because uh, nowadays, with electronics all over the place, you have the problem. Then every single electronic around the truck is connected to each other. So let's say you have the dashboard, you have the engine controller, you have the emission controller, you have the transmission controller, the brake controller, which is the ABS, you have the airbag, you have the cruise control, you have every single controller is hooked to one single network, which is CAN network. It could be a J1939, it could be a J1708, it could be a J1757, whatever network is connected to, they're all linked together. So if you have the engine controller and for any reason the cruise control controller is out, the engine controller is going to tell you, hey, you know what? There is not a way how I want to know where the road is or where is the incoming traffic. And then the engine controller is going to tell the cabin controller, you know what? We have a problem. We cannot drive anywhere. Or if you drive, you have to be limited to this specific amount of miles. So it's going to be limited to 55 miles per hour. And then this controller is going to take the ABS controller. You know what? We have to be prepared with the brakes. So the brakes gotta illuminate to see. Then we have a problem to alert the driver. Then we have a problem, and that is going to go be a circle. So that is the problem with the electronics all over the place. Then one problem goes all over the truck, and before it used to be like that because, like for example, like in older trucks, you have the dashboard, like, and the dashboard was just a mechanical electric component, then was powered by signals. So you get a signal from the controller, which is the engine, and the signal is just gonna go there, and the dashboard is gonna display the signal, and that was it. But now the dashboard is also a controller, and the dashboard can control the engine speed and can control the mileage inside the truck, and it controls so many things, right? So it is going to be a bigger problem for future generations of owners of trucks, owner operators, because those electronics are not going to be cheap. The way how to repair them are not going to be cheap, and also the kind of problem is going to be, because the problem with electronics is then if you have a truck then has an electronic problem, you cannot drive it anymore. The truck is stuck there, so you have to tow it. There is no way to do something to make it run, and that is the problem with electronics everywhere. So that makes the truck completely useless if any electronic fails in any specific situation. And that is the same with this thing I have here, which is a limited way to repair the trucks. So when you talk about limited ways to repair the trucks, means that you don't have accessibility on what to do if you have a problem. I will say this, like for example, in the past, you used to have a truck that had a cylinder that was misfiring, let's say, right? Okay, so the cylinder is misfire. What you gonna do? Okay, probably you won't do nothing about it because you cannot replace this injector in case of the injector is bad, or the piston thing is bad. So the truck still will run fine, so you can just drive the truck to the nearest shop and that's it. But nowadays it's not the same, because if you have a cylinder that has misfire, now the computer detects, the engine computer detects that there is a cylinder that is misfire. This computer is going to shut the injector off completely. If the injector is still working, it's going to shut the injector, so that way there is no pollution. But then it's going to go to the emission system, and the emission system is going to tell you, hey, you know what? You have a problem, and the amount of carbon building is coming from the engine is not the same as it used to be before. Now we have to call something out, any code, then there is a problem, and now this is going to limit you for driving the truck. And then the transmission is going to tell, because you have an automatic transmission, the automatic transmission is going to tell you, you know what, you cannot go more than 5 miles per hour. And I want to tell the cabin computer, then this is the amount of acceleration you're going to get, which is 1,000 RPMs. And then you cannot get any more. And what you're going to do? you have not a simple way on how to get out of that situation. And and that's just for electronics. And now when we talk about like repairs, like actual hand-on repairs, is pretty limited. So let's say, for example, you are pulling a sensor out of any location, a sensor broke, and then when you pull the sensor, the threaded piece, the threaded insert of the sensor, it gets destroyed. And what you want to do, you cannot just replace that piece because its part is welded of the component. So all you have to do now is replace the whole component, because you cannot just remove it, because it's made of a very weird material, cannot be welded, cannot be repaired, and that makes the expense of repairing these trucks very high. And I'm telling you, I mean, like newer trucks are good, are very nice to drive, very smooth and everything. But when it comes to repair, they aren't cheap. They're very expensive, and there are some brands that are more expensive than others. And I will say, then doesn't matter what brand you have, still you're gonna have problems. Before, I will say, then the most reliable truck you could buy before 2015, before 2016, I would say in that era, that was the Volvo VNL with the D13 engine. Those were very reliable trucks. The chassis was very reliable, and the engine was very reliable, and the automatic transmissions were reliable. But nowadays, I have seen brand new Volvos. Then they already have problems with injectors. They have problems with so many things, or they have fairing pieces that are falling apart from the vehicle. And those are brand new trucks with maybe 50,000 miles. And some of them I see with as little as 10,000 miles, and they already have small problems here and there. And that's not just that. That also goes to Freightliner, goes to Peterbilt, goes to Mack, goes to International, and any single brand. It's just because, everybody's competing for the best prices, best reliability, but they are forgetting about the customer. They're forgetting about how you want to deal with the truck after 2 years, after 3 years, because they think in their mind, oh yeah, okay, so you have a truck, then you're gonna pay $200,000. So to make $200,000 getting $2 per mile, you're gonna need what, 200,000 miles, and then you're gonna have $400,000. So you're gonna get $400,000, and you're gonna get the payment of the truck. So then when you have that, you have the money to buy the new truck, and then you can jump to the new truck and do the same. So they think that every 200,000, every 300,000, you're just gonna buy a new truck. That's what manufacturers think. So they don't care about a truck lasting 1 million miles nowadays, because it is not business. When you have a truck that lasts 1 million miles, it's not a business for a manufacturer, because why are you just gonna go buy a new truck when your truck is just running fine as it was from factory with 0 miles, and you already have 800,000 miles and the truck doesn't have a leak? But that's not the case nowadays. They want you to buy new vehicles. It's the same case. I don't know. I'm a guy that likes to know about vehicles and everything. It's the same situation that is happening now with the Toyota world. I don't know if you know about Toyota. Then they just changed the Tacoma, and they had a V6 on the Tacoma, and now they have a turbo cylinder, a turbo 4-cylinder engine, and that is a big change. And on top of that, they increase the price of the vehicle, and you're, I mean, like, it is not about then the smaller engine is a problem. I will say the problem is that they increase the price so much. And why they increase it? Because, I mean, they know them, people will buy Toyotas, right? So the same thing is happening with trucks. They know them, you're gonna buy trucks, so why they're going to help you to maintain your truck running when you can just go to the dealer and buy a brand new truck that has more electronics than they used to before, so you can sleep while you drive, huh? So I'm like, yes, I mean, like, it is good for them, but not good for you as the consumer. So I will say then, maybe within 5 years from now, trucks are going to be more complex, and they're not going to be as repairable as they are now. I heard the transmissions, automatic transmissions in general, doesn't matter what brand, they are making these transmissions to the point then you cannot repair them. The only way to replace, I mean, to fix the problem is replacing the whole transmission completely. So they want to sell you the whole transmission. They won't sell you parts for the transmission. They will sell you the whole transmission because that is the business. They want the money. They don't want the way on how to make the truck last longer. And that is the reason why this is not the best for new trucks and for any owner. But there is always ways on how to repair these trucks, and probably I will do a different video on how to make a truck last 1 million miles, because there is a way, but sometimes it's not the best, but there is always ways on how to do things. And the last one I have is high MSRPs. Well, high MSRPs is basically the cost of the truck. And I don't know if you have been nearby to a dealer, a brand new truck dealer, Peterbilt, Kenworth, whatever truck you're interested in. Anything is expensive. A truck that used to cost $100,000 before COVID, now it's like $180,000, and it is not like you have options to buy. Like, for example, like you want to buy a brand new truck, then has this, then has that, la la la. No. They have that, and that's all they have. So what you want to do, or you buy it, or you don't buy it, because you don't have an option of say, you know what, I would like to buy that truck, but I want it with these things. Not anymore. That's not the case. And on top of that, I say, on top of the high MSRPs, they're charging markups. And in some cases, the markups are not a very big problem, because the markup could be maybe $2,000, $3,000. Sometimes it's not a big problem, but still it's higher. But in some cases, in some specific trucks, the markups can go all the way to $20,000, $50,000. So specific trucks then have very high markups, and still people buy them because they want a brand new truck spec that way. And I would say then that is the reason why these trucks. It is not just that trucks have problems, right? It's not just that the truck just breaks for no reason. I mean, there are many factors that make a truck more unreliable, with more problems, and so many things, like. So I will say then, if you have a new truck, you have so many things to deal with, and the problems that you are going to face are going to vary depending on how you treat your truck. There is not a simple way on how you are going to fix your truck. There is so many ways. I'll be honest, right, to you. I have trucks 2012 Cascadias, then I'm facing problems that I have never seen before, and I'm trying to figure out the problems. And so there are old trucks, and still I'm seeing new problems with new different trucks that are coming to the shop. So and this is not going to be an exception. So everything is going to be new, and it's going to be more interesting to repair, because the amount of electronics, the amount of cables. I don't know if you have seen inside the dashboard of a truck, you want to see a bunch of cables this thick. Then have, like they go different areas, and that is the problem, I would say, also with manufacturers. In the past, they used to do separate harnesses, wiring harnesses for different components. So let's say the engine harness used to be a separate harness, the cabin harness used to be a separate harness, and the ABS harness used to be a separate harness. They all had a junction point, so they would be connecting to each other in specific points. But nowadays, they don't do that anymore. They have a whole harness, then connect to everything. And at the end, right at the tail of the harness, there is the module. There you want to have the specific sensor harness or whatever. And that makes this very hard to repair, because it's not like you're just going to go and look for the wire 1500, then it's somewhere broken, and you have a bunch of wires and are this thick. How are you just gonna be putting wire by wire until you find the problem? You have to pull the whole harness out, like spread it out all out, and then start finding the problem until you find the problem. So that is the biggest problem with this truck, and that's the reason why they are so expensive to repair, on top of every single thing that you have here. But I don't know. I mean, like, you guys can leave your comments on what do you think made these trucks more expensive. But as I understand, I mean, these are the lists that I came up with the every single thing that makes these trucks more expensive. And I said before, it is not just then the truck is more expensive. I mean, there are so many things, prices, components, materials, everything is adding on to the problems of the truck and to the cost of repairing. So every single thing is here is like basically how much money you want to spend. And I will say then if you are planning to repair a truck nowadays, the minimum amount of money you want to spend for every single repair probably is going to be $500 for every maybe a small thing, whatever, like a ball or a sensor that has to be replaced, and the maximum amount of money can go all the way to $40,000 depending on the trucks. I have people coming to the shop, then they want to repair the trucks, and they have problems with their engines. And before, the engine repair used to be like maybe like $15,000 to repair an engine. Now, with specific engines, like we'll say Cummins, you can go all the way to $22,000, and it still is not a fully rebuilt engine. We're still reusing so many components. That is not a fun business. I would say then a lot of people, like when they see the prices, they really don't think then that is the price, but it is not the price that I'm giving. Is the parts, the components are so expensive. I mean, like it is every single thing. I mean, like you go to the dealer and you go ask for every single thing. They want to sell it to you way more expensive than it used to be before. But that is the new way we have to live. Sadly, we are not making more money, but parts are more expensive. And I don't know from where that started. I think during COVID, that was the problem. A lot of people got a lot of money during COVID. And now then the industry is shrinking, it's getting tighter. The money is gone, but the prices is still there. Well, we'll see. So, well, I have all these. So right now, we're gonna answer some questions. So, if you have anything else to add to this live video about the problems and the new trucks, you can just comment and ask me anything right now. I'll be answering questions. So let me see it. Let me get comfortable here. All right. Standing there for a bit. So let me drink some water. Okay. And that's better. Okay. Yes. So many things and we can talk about problems and everything. But as I said before, I wanna do different videos about how to make a truck last longer than it is possible. I see trucks that are having problems and very low mileage, and I see trucks that have very high mileage with no problems. So I take notes, right? I see the driver, I see the truck, I see the way it's been driven, and I see what it holds. So, and based on that, I'm like, okay, yes, okay, this is the way on how this driver used to drive his truck, and this is the way this other driver used to drive his truck. So both trucks are the same year, same mileage, same everything, but this is presenting these problems, and this is presenting these problems. So there is a way on how to prevent it and based on collecting data from different areas. And I think that is the good thing about being a mechanic. I would say then I see many different trucks that have many different problems in many different ways. And I see many different trucks that don't have any of the problems that commonly trucks have. And I'm like, okay, yeah, so it's interesting. I mean, like that's the reason why I'm like, sometimes it is just better to understand that situation, and then apply it, help you to get to that point too, so that way you guys understand the new, I would say, the new technologies and how to make this technology last the longest. All right, so let me let me answer some questions. So Torres STI says, Francisco, I need help. My truck is having low efficiency, not conversion. How I do get hold of you? Well, I mean, like, you can find me. You can come to my shop if you want to. Only thing, if you have problems like that, you have to leave the truck, because those problems are no 10-minute problem. A lot of people think that when you have a mission problem, it's just like, okay, you're gonna bring the truck and it's gonna be ready tonight. No, 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 it isn't like that. Sometimes you have to, understand the problem, try to find the problem, the cause, and everything. And there are many, many reasons why this problem can happen. But if you want to come over, you can come. The address is 8215 Beach Avenue in Fontana, CCS Fleet Services. You can just come over and just leave the truck for a couple of days until we find the problem. Just be patient sometimes, because we are pretty busy. But if we have the ability to dispatch you right away, we will. I mean, if it's not a big problem, I have people that have come with small problems, and I can prepare that right away, I will. But sometimes I can't. So if that's the case, I want you to understand that it is not then I don't want you. It is just that I can, because there is a lot of people in front of you that wants the same thing, and they've been waiting for that for me to repair the truck. So as it is, yes, you can come anytime, and probably I can find the solution to the problem. And if not, I will give you the best advice on how to fix it. Okay, Rasa Goodman say hello. Hello, Gora Sarafonoski says up, thumbs up. Nice, nice. Okay, let me see. New trucks are made for mechanic shop, and old trucks are made for owner operators. A good statement. I believe that statement. That is true. New trucks are not the cheapest, and older trucks were more reliable. Uh, but you have to remember then older trucks weren't comfortable too. They have so many uh, like when you were driving a truck, an older truck didn't have that nice cushion on the seat. It didn't have that way to adjust the airbags on the seat, so that way you can go up and down and you don't feel the road. So, I mean, it was harder on your body, but you can make more money. And new trucks are easy on your body because of technology, but you don't make money. So, technology makes things better for humans, but more expensive for humans as well. And nowadays, everything is technology. So thanks to technology, but the reason why technology is has been applied on trucks is because so many accidents, and that I understand. There are so many accidents that happen day by day, and technology sometimes prevent that kind of situations, but sometimes it's not the way it gotta be, because uh, you have to pay a lot of money to maintain that technology, and that's that's not cheap, especially if you have only one truck. If you have one truck, I mean, why? Like oh, OTR performance. I see OTR performance. Hey, say OTR performance. Yeah, I know them. Hey, they're pretty good. If you have OTR, I use OTR all the time. So if you have OTR, I mean, you can download the app and everything, and you're gonna be able to repair your truck, and just jump into OTR, because yes, the I use it. I use it just like yesterday, because I had a problem with the truck, and I used to see very quick to use it, very easy. Okay, now to the questions and the other things we have here. We have Cuauhtémoc Alfonso. No, I'm sorry, no quiero, o no sé cómo pronunciar. Señor Cuauhtémoc Alfonso, gracias por dedicar tu tiempo, por enseñarnos todas estas teorías. No hay problema. Tratamos de hacer lo que se puede. En algunas ocasiones las teorías que doy tal vez no son tan precisas, pero trato la manera de mantener un orden y la mejor información para ustedes. Yo sé de que esto no es fácil y si yo encuentro algo que haga el trabajo más fácil, trato de compartirlo. De todos modos, trabajo, hay mucho trabajo. Gente que quiera ayudar no hay. Entonces, aquí estoy yo tratando de ayudarles a todos. Y si alguno tiene una pregunta, pues puedo ayudarles. Voy a poner mi número público dentro de poco. La cosa es de que la gente me llama y a veces quieren estar hasta 1 hora platicando conmigo y tengo muchas cosas que hacer. Pero si puedo hacerlo, lo hago, pero en muchas ocasiones no tengo el tiempo, así que tengo que cortarlos casi inmediatamente, 5 minutos, 10 minutos. Pero si ustedes tienen sus preguntas listas, todo listo, listo para compartirlo conmigo, se me hace más fácil porque yo no tengo que estar preguntando, ustedes solo me dicen, miren, ¿sabe qué? Esto, y pum, vamos, ya tenemos todo. All right, blind science, exactly. Yes, exactly. Yes, I mean, like when I talk about like the newer trucks, that's what it is. Mauro Garza. Francisco, is there a number or place or business you can give me a one to use your service? Yes, Mauro Garza, you can come here to the shop. I don't have my shirt here where I have my tag, but CCF Fleet Services, 8215 Beach Avenue is the address. And I have an invoice here. See that TCS Fleet Services right there. That's the address. So you wanna come over? You're welcome to come over. I mean, you can Google it and everything, and it will direct you here. Dai Dama Jati Mora, not English, bro. Okay, no English. Okay, not English. Said Black Oak. Blila Ak. I mean, I got this. I'm sorry for pronouncing the names. um, Ken Adar, thank you for the live. Okay, thank you. I try to help. Um, AIC, can you get rid of the after treatment system? Think that will fix like 80% of the problem. Yes, that's true. Taking the emission system away will take so many problems away. That is true. It depends. I mean, depending on the area, if your trucks are not tied to emission control protocols, I would say then you are fine with all emissions. But if you are under emission control protocols, well, I mean, that's an option. I would say then trucks are meant to work with emissions. Once you remove the emission system, trucks are not working the same, so they want to create different problems. I have seen trucks then have problems with emissions. People delete the trucks, and then when after that they don't have problems for maybe 1 year, and then they have a different problem. But the problems aren't that expensive. They're more like complex to understand because it's a different theory on how to repair a truck that is deleted versus a truck that is not deleted. So, but at the end of the day, I mean, yes, you're saving money. AIC says 100% agree. Things are not meant to last anymore. Yes, that's true. Things are not lasting as long as they used to, and they are not going to continue lasting as long as they are lasting as it is now. So they're going to be cheaper and cheaper every time. That's the new life we're facing, so we have to be prepared for that. Trucking says TR Trucking. So, says I'm keeping my 2016 DD15 engine. Yes, just keep that. That's a good engine. Maybe you're gonna have cylinder liner problems, whatever, but it's going to be a good truck anyway. Ken Dyer says I can afford the early rates now. Yes. Look. To be honest, I think shops are taking advantage of people in general. They are charging a lot of money to repair a truck, and not just to repair the truck, to know what they're gonna do to repair the truck, diagnostic. They repairing, they charging so much money, but I will not think that that's proper. Uh, if you think, sometimes to know the problem you need maybe 30 to 1 hour to know the problem the truck has, and then after that it's just like, labor. And a lot of shops are going to charge you whatever time the computer was hooked to the truck. They're gonna continue charging even if the computer wasn't being used, but it was hooked to the truck. So if it's 5 hours of labor, there's nothing. They're gonna charge you what? If let's say then they charge you $200 per hour, you're gonna pay $1,000 just in diagnostic, and then plus the repair and everything at the end, just for what, a simple uh, sensor. You wanna pay $2,000, $3,000, and that is shops, actually shops in general. And I'm a shop too. I have a shop, and maybe I can be classified like that. but I mean, like, I am not an exception, right? So I will, like, I am, I do repair trucks, but I try to keep the prices pretty low, because I understanding it's not about the money, it is about the customer and the more business for me. So I don't want to be rich with one truck. I want to be rich because I've been known, then I do good jobs. Let's say Steven Perner says, good video as always. Thank you, Steven. Garan Sarafonovsky says, I have a '07 BNL D12 with, and 17 BNL D13 Spark, and I am driving the D12. The D12 is a good engine. It was very weird at some point, but it was a good engine. I remember seeing those engines when I was younger, I would say. Uh, 10th gen, Jeremiah says, what do you recommend between newer? What is it? What is your recommendation between newer DD15 versus Cummins? Well, that is hard. DD15 is going to have problems. Cummins is going to have problems. Both of them are going to have problems. There is no exception. I would say then Cummins is more expensive, and DD15 is cheaper. It depending on what you want. If you want power, Cummins will be the best. If you want a little more, like a economy when it comes to repair, probably Detroit. So I use a lot of Detroits as, my trucks to repair, and yeah, they can last quite big miles, but Cummins too. But the problems that Cummins have are different than Detroit, and the overhauls, fuel pumps, and everything for Cummins is quite expensive. Like, for example, in Cummins, a fuel pump gonna cost you $5,000, and Detroit, a fuel pump is gonna cost you around $2,000. So there is $3,000 difference just in that component. Same thing with overhaul. Detroit costs you around $7,000, and Cummins costs you around $9,000. So there is always like a big difference when it comes to price. But if you want to have a truck that lasts longer, both of them can do. But there are different problems that you need to fix along the way. Andy Ramos, how much do you charge for a Pi brand overhaul ASX Cummins? ASX 15 Cummins. Well, I mean, okay, I don't use Pi overhauls, to be honest. PIA, that's something that I don't really use, but I don't know the prices for the Cummins overhaul, but it is the same labor, so I would say then the overhaul for a Cummins I can charge between $4,500 to $5,000, depending on what you have to do when it comes to in-frame overhaul. I can charge a little more if there is more things to do, but I think $4,500, it is what the labor then you need to do. That's pretty much. But I don't know. I mean, and I'm not saying that this is the price shops gotta charge. Uh, I mean, shops charge whatever they want to charge. I'm not declaring the prices that people are to charge, but When it comes to my labor, that's pretty much, and it doesn't matter if I had to do more things. Like for example, I do the overhaul completely, and then there is something else that needs to be done. Thing is not part of the overhaul. In most cases, I'm not gonna charge extra because I'm just getting the already the pay of that. Um, and when it comes to warranties, like if I put I buy the parts completely, parts and everything, I do warranties. But if you buy the parts, I just give you labor warranty. So Winston, if I left a loose, then it's loose. Of course, I give you warranty. But if the engine breaks right for no reason, hey, I mean, like that's on you. You have to do it. But if I have to do the warranty, of course, I give you the warranty on the on removing the components. And when it comes to labor, usually when there's warranty, I do half of the cost. So I pay half, you pay half, and that's it. But I'm trying the best, to maintain customer happy. Sometimes it's not easy, but we have to do what we have to do. Yeah, and I am here back with OTR performance. Yes. Well, I mean, okay, I know them. So let's see. They have a question for me. I have a question. OTR performance says, how often do you run into problems where you need to run SCR efficiency tests? How common is this on the D15s, and how you see this more common on your trucks? Well, that's a good question. I mean, okay, SCR efficiency tests, um, OTR performance. I want to give you this the best way possible. This is the best explanation. SCR efficiency test, it is part of validation testing, a period of time which is around like 2.5 hours then the truck needs to validate any repair with the truck. I mean, with the emission system, I'm sorry. In some cases, emission systems are required to do a DPF regeneration plus a SCR efficiency test. What you do with the SCR efficiency test is you are going to let the computer know, then it's going to test every single component, and it's not just limited to DPF and NOx efficiency. It's not limited to that. It's going to also test pressures of any pressure, DPF pressure, SCR pressures, SCR temperature, DPF pressures, DF pump speed and pressure, efficiency of the SCR system, and also how long it takes to reduce the amount of pressure of the DPF, and so many other small factors. It's a very complex thing to do the SCR efficiency test. Now, when you do the SCR efficiency test, that is the good question, I will say, and that I'm going to give you to OTR performance. Now, then you asking that. Well, when you do the OTR, the OTR, sorry, the SCR efficiency test is when you have emission related problems that are not related to the DPF. So the DPF is one thing and the SCR is another thing. The DOC, DPF, SCR, DEF, and now SUT sensors and all that, they're completely different components with completely different modules and different logics. When you do the SCR efficiency test, you are just testing SCR system, but it also tests DPF components. Since the DPF is the main component that makes the SCR work, you need the DPF to be functional in order to have a functional SCR. If the DPF is not working, the SCR is not working as well, and then you're gonna have problems. And what type of faults the SCR efficiency test is going to fix is mostly faults that are derates faults. So you want to have a derate on 55 miles per hour, 5 miles per hour, or you don't have power, or you don't have whatever. So those derates need to be fixed with the SCR efficiency test. But when you do an SCR efficiency test, you have to know what kind of repair you have to do first. So that way the SCR efficiency test passes the test and then it will clear the fault. If the SCR efficiency test detects that the problem is still there, it's not going to clear anything. So you have to know what kind of things you have to repair in order to get that thing away. And in some cases, the computer is not going to detect the problem, but it's going to detect anomalies. And it's going to send you common code that says the SCR system loop a limit, something like that. And that is going to tell you there is something that is not within the tolerance then the computer is asking for. And then you have to do the SCR efficiency test. But then when you're doing that, you have to monitor every single thing to see where is that small gap then the computer is asking to fix. And not until that fails, that's when you're gonna know what you have to do. But before that, all you have to do is just to continue inspecting what is the problem. This is super complex. I can continue and talking about it. I can make a video completely about it, and I can give you answers and whatever. And it's not just for DD15s. Same thing happens for Volvos, Cummins, Packards. The same thing, same way to fix it, but different fault codes, different names for fault codes, and things like that. So I can talk about it, but that's the answer basically. If I didn't answer the question OTR performance, you can ask me again, and I will just continue talking. And but that's I mean, like it's not the best I can give you, but it's I mean, like I spent like what, like couple minutes talking about it, and I could continue on talking, but I want to move on with more questions. So if you have more, I mean, I can give you more. Let's see. Sean, Perman, I blew head gasket on my 2023 D15. Not sure what it caused. Well, I mean, like it happens sometimes, and then D15 get the engine problem like that. But in some cases, the torque, mostly when it comes to the head, the bolts, is not the proper, and that sometimes is a defect. If you didn't have any problems and the truck was overheating, if you didn't have any problems and you were letting the engine die in a way that you were having high gears and low RPMs, and I mean, you didn't have any problems like that, that mostly means then the problem was a defect, something, because I have seen problems like that. Then the engine runs fine, all of a sudden the head gasket goes bad, but a cylinder head bolt is the cause of that. So if that is the case on your truck, I would suggest that you do the head gasket replacement if that's all the problem you have. But also you have to replace the bolts, the head bolts, because that will help you to prevent problems like that. Because if you reuse things, you might be able to get the same problem, and you don't want that. I will just suggest to get new cylinder head kit, bolts kit, and that will help you a lot. All right, let's see. Say G Walker, say Francisco, would you trade a 2016 D15 with 724,000 miles, miles for a newer truck? If what? So well, I mean, like I don't know if I will trade a 2016 truck for a newer truck. That 2016 truck is a good truck, I would say. 700,000 miles, it's a lot of miles. But the only problem I see with trucks like older truck is then whatever you do, whatever you repair to the truck, it doesn't make the truck newer. So you can let's say for example, a lot of people comes to the shop and tells me, oh, you know what, I'm going to do the engine to the truck, and okay, good. And they spend $20,000 doing the full engine, and then all of a sudden say like, oh yeah, I have a new truck. My truck is brand new basically, but then all of a sudden the transmission breaks, right? The differential breaks, a module breaks, computer breaks, whatever. So this the thing is like it is not then having a used truck is the best, but it depends on what you do as well. And having a new truck is good, but then you have payments. Usually trucks when they're new, like for example, I have customers that have 2023s, 2024 schedules, and so far they have around like some of them have them 2023s are having like 200,000 miles, almost 300,000 miles, and they still running fine, like with no problems. So they give you enough time to make money, but then you get specific problems that are very expensive to fix. Like one of them, one of those 2023s was having injector problems. The engine harness went bad and the injector went bad. So we had to replace the injector harness, the injector, and the engine harness. And I'm like, okay, that's a brand new truck with 200,000 miles, and you already put in around like what, like $3,000 in repairs. I mean, it isn't that bad, but it's bad because it's a 200,000 mile truck, so it's supposed to be good. But it's still like it's not that bad as like a oh, the engine broke completely, and now you have to spend $20,000 to fix it. At least it's not like that, but still, you have to spend some money. I will say then you have to consider that decision. Uh, Depending on what you do. If you use your truck as a local truck with that many miles, you're good. But if you are a long hauler, you have to consider if you want to trade your truck, because having a lot of miles on your truck can be very, very risky sometimes. Okay. Then Thames Gen Transmate, thank you for clarification. Pump Star, Gun Trucking, say, hey, get in the chat. Yes, of course. You can talk. You can bring whatever you wanna. You want questions. You can ask anything. Venera, bring it pumps. Pop Star. Okay. Pop Star, Gun Trucking. I have a driver pump, 55 gallons. Into one of my trucks jobs. We had to look it out since the line fuel system running is a brand new. All right. Yo, Joaquín Almquer Corso. Saludos from Miami, Florida. Joaquín Almquer Corso. I don't know if I can say your name right. I'm sorry. Okay, say I love older trucks, 2006 Freightliner Centuries or Columbias. The thing is even the clutch is in hydraulic, no hoses and brake, and leaks, pedals on the floor. I say the metal bars are cooling close. Yes, I would say then older trucks were better in some point because you don't have that many things to make it easy for the driver to go around the block. In the past, trucks were made of bare metal, as I said before. They didn't have clutch; used to be just a stick. Then you have to press very hard, and that was the term easy pedal for the clutches. But that was an easy pedal. That was a very tiring pedal to press. But it was very reliable because sometimes I remember then those older trucks they have bushings in those bars and went to the clutch, and the bushing just like pop out, and the bushing stayed on the lever of the clutch. So all you needed to do was grab a big washer and just press that back and just have the washer in it, and that's it. And you have a clutch working once again. And with the new systems, you don't. It breaks, it breaks. There is no a way to repair it, especially when it comes for these newer automatic transmissions. Then they have clutch, then are operated with electronics and air. If it doesn't work, doesn't work. There is no a way to do something, to push something, to try to like hit it with a hammer or anything. It's not going to work anyway. But I suppose then this is the live video of the month of April, and um, I hope you guys like it. You guys like it. I don't know what else to add to this video so far, but you can always tell me, ask me questions, and thank you for asking the questions then you had for me. And as I say before, I will try to give you the best possible information for you guys to get these trucks back on the road. And if you're planning to buy a new truck, don't be scared if that's what you want to do. I mean, yes, they're very expensive to repair, they're very expensive for everything, but that doesn't mean then as soon as you buy, it's going to break. Um, uh, it is just what it is. I mean, like don't feel then new trucks are really bad, like they're really bad, then they're bad. No, no, no. I mean, like they're still okay, but they're not better than the older trucks. So that's one thing that you have to have in mind. If you have an older truck, maybe it can last a little longer. But if you have a newer truck, maybe not, depending, right? But as I say, I'm going to do a different video. I'm going to post this. I don't know if you guys like the way I've been doing live videos nowadays. I asked you what you want me to talk about. So I just wanna like post it there, and if you guys vote for it, then that's what you want me to talk about. Of course, I'm gonna talk about it, and in that way we can discuss that uh, topic together. But that would be for the next live video, and I'm planning to do more videos like this, like informative videos, so that way you guys understand more about these trucks, and giving you the best information possible. It is just for you guys, the ones that see my live videos. And whoever else that doesn't see my live videos, well, I mean, like, they still can see my live videos later, but you have to stick to the video to get information, because I wanna give information to you guys, like specific information. If I have the information, specific information for specific problems, of course I'll give it, because hey, this is about helping each other, and if we don't help each other, we are not going to make any money for ourselves. So, and that's the most important thing. We have to survive. Everything we have around us doesn't pay by itself. We have to make the money to pay that off. So, and that is what we need to do to survive this new era of hardship and expensive things and very hard to make money. But I finished this video by saying all this, and as I said before, anything else that you want to add to this video, you can use the comment section below. I'm sorry. In next live video, I'm gonna be talking about different things, and I'm gonna give you all the list of topics that I have. And if you vote for whatever thing, whatever topic you want me to talk, that's when I'm gonna go. I hope you like my live videos the way they are as it is now, and subscribe to the channel. See you later, and stay tuned for more videos. I have many videos to talk about. I haven't recorded lately because I'm been very busy, but I'm going to catch up with that. But I have all the videos ready for the months to come, so I think I'm going to I start doing more informative specific videos, because especially technology related videos. I think that's what people need to know. Well, I mean, that's all. So see you guys later. Thank you for watching my video. Enjoy your weekend, and hopefully everything goes well for us. Thank you. Okay, cut it off. Yes.